it should be matched. Yeah.
But so far, the proposal that is gathering the most support, especially among the political elite, is to increase the number of people at the electoral committee for the chief executive, and to increase both the number of directly elected legislators and indirectly elected legislators. Do you think this would result in a significant transformation of Macao's political system?
Okay. First, we discuss about the legislator first. Okay. Just as follow my ideas. In last questions, because Macau is a small population, some association may have a very high possibility to dominate in the direct election. So we need to concern some small group. Okay, so indirect elections maybe have its value to protect several small groups. Okay, so in the intermediate phases, we should have, for example, increase the number of direct elected legislators to 3 more or 4 more. Okay, increase the number, and then to increase the number of indirect elected legislators. But one more thing is we should be pay attention is we need to concern the background of this possible candidate. For example, in our past several elections, there's over 50% of the legislative members, they come from the capitalist class, okay, or business sectors. Of course, some of them are direct elected, but their background is businessmen, okay. So it means directed elected legislator not necessarily can represent all different social classes. So we should be more careful. So what I mean is we need to have some mechanism to allow the equal game, equal possibility for the less advantaged group, the small group, the least privileged group. We need to have some channel for them to represent inside the legislature.
And also within the electoral committee for the chief executive.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. So in the electoral committee, of course, the size can be increased, but the most important thing is the compositions. The composition. Okay. I have a very rough idea. It means just like USA, the United States. Okay. We can have a similar style of indirect election. So it means the Macau citizen, they directly elect the member inside this electoral committee, and then this electoral committee elect the chief executive. So it is a certain kind of indirect elections, similar to United States. Okay, so we should be more careful, and we should open the floor to the society to discuss how to form this electoral committee, how to design the rules to allow people to elect the member inside this electoral committee.
So you basically disagree with the proposal put forth by directly elected legislators of shifting the power balance within the Legislative Assembly. Going back to the Legislative Assembly, they say that they should reduce the number of indirectly elected lawmakers and increase the number of directly elected. You think this would not be a positive step at the moment?
No, sorry. I want to make clear is about we can increase the number of direct elected. Of course, we can. Okay, but at the same time, we should keep some amount of indirect elected. We should keep some, not to remove them, because the indirect elected member can represent the least advantaged group in some times.
So you believe it with those that say that the indirectly elected lawmakers still play an important role in Macau society by representing these smaller groups within society?
Yeah. But, it's smaller in terms of number of votes. Yeah. For example, we have the gambling company, we have the Portuguese societies. So these people, they have a lot of resources, but if in terms of vote, they may not strong enough. Okay, so we need to protect their right, they protect their benefit. So the indirect elected may be one of the solutions for that.
So what groups do you think should gain representation through this indirect method? I mean, we've heard about the professional sector, the middle class. What groups do you think?
I think we need to think about the working class. The working class, because at this moment, in the last 10 years, the number of representatives from the working class is less than 10% in our legislature. Okay, so we need to have some, for example, the labor union, and also some NGO working for the rights of the least advantaged people, and welfare organizations, welfare associations, and also maybe there's some NGO representing the disabled people, something like that. We need to have more voice from the less advantaged people.
Okay. Yeah. So what about appointed lawmakers? Do you think they are still relevant within Macao's current political context?
Sorry?
The number of chief executive appointed lawmakers appointed by the government, do you think they are still needed within Macao's current political context?
Yeah, I know the principle or the reason why the government want to keep some, because they think that you may know that in Macau, especially the legal system is quite interesting. The influence of the Portuguese language is very strong in our legal system. So we need to have some expert in the Portuguese law traditions. So the government want to keep this speciality inside our legislature. We can fully understand on that. So, but the number of these nominate legislator can be decreased in the future. We can still keep some, but the number can decrease. Yeah.
Yet, but I mean, recently the president of Macao's Lawyer Association, Dr. Neto Valente, he said that they should remain in the Legislative Assembly because they are the most competent, the most capable within the Assembly. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, of course, they have their functions. But, okay, I want to put the argument not just on the number, but I want to put the argument as the proportion. Okay, so if in the composition of the legislature, if the directly elected number is over 50%, if the representative of the working class people is more or less proportional to that of ratio in the societies, that's good. Okay, if they want to keep the nominated member, fine, but we need to increase the number of the working class representative.
Of course.
Yeah.
So far the authorities seem to be focused in coming to a rapid conclusion to this process ahead of the 2013 and 2014 elections. Do you think that the